All right.
Now we're ready.
Without further ado, let's stand up and pledge allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Before I forget, because I forgot last month, and I'm probably gonna, hopefully David's not here today to count on my screw ups.
No.
I wanted to thank Jason and Dorothy. And I'm not sure who else was here this morning, the early risers who actually come in and set up all the tables. I can't tell you how much I appreciate that, because I am not an early riser. Want to remind everybody to sign in. I didn't. Will the secretary know I'm here?
Yes, we will.
Okay. First item on the agenda is the consent calendar. Where do we go with this?
Today's meeting agenda, does anybody have anything that they want?
Oh, yeah, okay, so today's meeting agenda, anything anybody wants to add to the agenda at this point? Okay,
Board meeting?
board meeting minutes, I need a motion to approve, right?
Any changes?
You need a motion?
We will.
Okay. Yeah, any corrections, changes to the board minutes? Okay.
So what we'll be asking for is a motion to approve A and B.
You can see I'm just a figurehead here. Angel really runs the place. Okay, so we need a motion to approve the meeting agenda and the board meeting minutes. Do we have a motion?
Move to approve.
Okay, thank you, Greg. And second from Steve. All in favor?
Aye.
Well, thank you. Motion passes.
Right on.
Okay, new business, Title III, program, Associated Fire Safe Council grant allocations. Amber.
Good morning. We've had a request from at least one fire safe council to increase our $2,500 Title III grant allocation from Title III for associate fire safe councils. It used to be around $3,000 for green waste days. We reduced it to $2,500 this year to let fire safe councils use it for anything that was eligible under Title III, but we're hearing from at least one fire safe council that $2,500 is not enough to cover their green waste day activities, the green waste day itself, plus all of the outreach that needs to take place. So the e-board discussed it and would like to suggest that we increase the allocation from $2,500 per associate fire safe council up to $3,000 this year in fiscal year and calendar year 26. So that means each fire safe council would get an additional $500 to be spent between now and the end of the year. The $500 could also be spent retroactively. So if you've spent more than $2,500 this year already on activities that fall under Title III, you can request to be reimbursed for those activities. So any thoughts, questions? Anybody want to? Yeah, David. I think you.
Pull it up like this.
Good job. Thanks, Elizabeth.
Can you tell me what the eligible activities are again?
You know, the eligible activities are on the website. There's just as a reminder, if you're wanting to know what the activities are, you go to edcfiresafe.org there's a forms, I think it's, hold on, let me just find it. It's on the website, I just want to tell you how to find it. Under about, go to policies and about is at the top of the page, you go to policies and procedures. And Article 24 is the Title III grant policy and Title III funding allocations and guidelines. So just a few things, so it's mainly for outreach and education. Unfortunately, from what I understand, when Title III was first put into place, there wasn't Zoom or apparently even websites, I'm not sure, but you can't use you can't use it for websites or Zoom or constant contact, anything. Apparently this was done in like 1945 or something. I don't know, but nothing electronic or digital can be used, but you can use it for mailings, greenway stays, fuel reduction, actually, if you had a tiny fuel reduction project, things like that. But if you want specifics, go to the guidelines and it'll tell you.
Angel, you can provide me adult supervision for me, I can appreciate it.
Sure.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And remember, he's the guy that counts my screw ups.
So, one
Yes.
thing I do want to point out is that, Title III is not, so we've historically been getting around 140,000 a year from, the county. The Title III is money that the county gets in lieu of property taxes from the federal government, since a big chunk of our county is, federal land. Title III is a way for the federal government to pay property taxes. Clearly, it's not nearly as much as they would be paying if it was developed land, but that's where it comes from. And the federal government has to reauthorize Title III every few years. We weren't sure if they were going to reauthorize it this year because everything's in flux with this administration, but they did. So we will be getting Title III. The county will be getting Title III, and historically they've given it to the Fire Safe Council. This year, the Board of Supervisors is splitting the amount between the Fire Safe Council and Search and Rescue. So we'll be getting half of the amount, half of the allocation, which again tends to be around 140,000 a year, but you know, it's a formula that fluctuates. So maybe next year we'll only get possibly 70,000. So by increasing the amount by $500 for every Fire Safe Council, if every Fire Safe Council took us up on it, it'd be 15,500. And that does cut into future money or, future money we have for Fire Safe Council. So that is one consideration to think about. And you don't have to use your extra $500. You don't even have to use your first $2,500. So if don't try to use it. If you don't have a project that you really want to do, don't bend over backwards to try to make something happen, because that just gives money for the next year. So, and to just also to clarify, I think there was a question about whether Fire Safe Councils still get that $200 that we used to get. And just to remind everybody, we don't get that anymore. This Title III allocation is what we get. So right now it's $2,500 a year, and if we vote to increase it to $3,000, it would be $3,000 for this year, and then we'll look at next year and recommend an amount for 2027 by the end of this year. Yeah, Elizabeth.
And then Tamara, we have a hand online too.
Okay.
Just for clarification, when you say this year, you mean fiscal year, July 1st?
No,
calendar year?
Calendar year, yeah, sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry, I kept saying fiscal year. It's I think our calendar year and fiscal year are the same, I'm not sure, but, are they?
No.
Oh, no, never mind. Okay, I'm sorry. So calendar year, 2026. So it must be used by December 31st, 2026. And then in November, the E-Board will look at how much money we have left in Title III, how much we anticipate, and then make a recommendation for the amount for the Fire Safe Councils for 2027, and then we'll all vote on it at that time. So we'll know before January what we have to spend in 2027.
And then
There's a question
it's
online.
Paul
I don't know what that
Gilchrist.
means.
It's Paul.
Is that
Hey,
right?
Tamara. Good morning. Question, our board, met a couple weeks ago and we voted to purchase some equipment. And if I understand the process, we pre-pay everything, then submit the receipts via the expense form that's online, correct?
Yeah, but you know, the best thing to do is to run your suggested or proposed expenses by me first, just to make sure. I mean, you can look at the guidelines as easily as I can, but if what you're proposing doesn't fit into the guidelines, we won't be able to reimburse you under Title III. So, you know, if you want a second opinion, run it by me and make sure it will fit in the guidelines and get reimbursed.
Okay, it'll be in your inbox shortly.
Okay, love that inbox. Go ahead, Denise.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Okay, I have a loud voice. So the Title III funds that we.
Somebody turn on her mic because.
Yeah. It's for the people on
Yeah, I
Zoom.
can't hear online if the mic's not on. It was on.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Now we're in.
Thank you.
The Title III funds, is this a use it or lose it application as far as the parent council goes? Or do we actually collectively get the $140,000 and then you disperse it out, whatever is spent, whatever is not spent stays in the kitty for future use?
Yeah, it stays in the kitty for future use.
Thank you.
You don't have to turn it off.
Go ahead and leave it on.
Just leave it on. Does anybody else have any thoughts, questions? Okay, so, should I go and make the motion?
Yeah.
Okay, so I move that we increase the annual Title III allocation for each associate firesafe council from $2,500 to $3,000 for 2026. All funds must be expended by December 31st, 2026. Any funds not expended by that date will be forfeited.
Great. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
All right, thank you.
I just want to add that, we're thrilled to get the, Title III funds. I personally am also thrilled that, Search and Rescue gets some of this. Great organization, obviously, we'd like to get it all, but how can you deny Search and Rescue? Just wanted to make that point. Thank you, everybody. Old business, Angel, tell us about the new offices.
Hello. Good morning, everyone. Thank you all for coming. I am going to give you some repeat information and hopefully some new information, but I'm excited to announce that Bob and I signed the lease for 5 years for our new office space at it's at 344 Placerville Drive, Suite 17. The suite door is actually in the back level where you can walk in or roll in or ski in if you wanted, if there was snow for Paul. And the date that the landlord or the owner is getting it ready for us is October 1st. I'm not announcing that that is our move-in date, but that will be around the time that we will be moving, and hopefully in September I'll have a better date, or by October. And actually stopped by the location, Dorothy, Greg and I, and we actually got to talk to the owner, and he's super excited to have us as tenants. He has hired an electrician to do the work we wanted for the electricity. He's repainting. What else is he doing? I can't really remember. Putting in a wall, putting in a door, etc. Anyway, so he's happy to have us. And I want to know if you all have any questions about our new gigs. Yes, Steve.
First floor access to materials and supplies, pop-ups.
Yeah.
Everything. The question was, first floor access, and basically the answer is yes. There are 2 doors to this location. There's one door that's level that you can roll into or walk into without taking one step up. There is a staircase on another side that you could use, but I don't recommend it. It's rather tall. But yes, there's both types of access.
Any other questions? I just want to add that, several years ago, this group was thrilled to get the existing offices in the basement over there on Main Street. We've grown. I'm really thrilled to see us get these new offices, and the reason is that our executive board meetings are open, really open to all of you to attend. The problem is the little conference room was not in the old existing facility is not the most welcome room, and the chairs just kill your butt, and there's just no room there. And I really hope we have a large conference room, and that's the thing that really attracted me to this facility, in addition to really good rent, dollar level that we can afford. And we really want to see some of you, any of you who are with fire and safety councils, attend our executive board meetings, because that's how we grow the organization. I'm not going to be here forever, nor is anybody else on this table. So we'll have room for you, in a nice, comfortable room with a nice view. And Angel has worked so hard for so long to find something we can afford. So just want to say that. Go ahead.
Yeah, sounds great. One of the things that had been mentioned earlier was a desire to have some signage out on the road so that folks would know where we're located. And is that also part of it, and what that would look like?
I want to say, I think that's a work in progress. I think the little wavy signs, we talked to him about, like when like grand openings and stuff like that. That would be the start. And then because our door is on the back side of the building, he's allowing us, we asked for 2 signs, one on the front of the building and one in the back, of course. But the best access is to drive around and park at our door. But we will have signage. Will it be out on the road? I'm not sure he's there yet. I also want to say, when you do drive by the building, it kind of looks like it belongs on a beach somewhere. And Steve, the owner, he's like, I'm taking this out, I'm painting these, I don't like this. So he's really working on the building to make it more accustomed to what we're used to seeing in our community. So, but yes, I certainly hope we have signage.
New chairs, Bob?
No, not the same chairs.
No, we're gonna get new chairs.
Angel, I just can't. I used to even rent on Class 1 Drive, but I can't figure out where the building is. Please tell me.
Don't tell
them. Oh, yeah.
I'm getting advice not to tell you. No, I'm kidding. It's across the street from the movie theater is the best way.
See, you're near the center.
And it's called the All American Plaza.
Okay.
it's near the center.
Thank you.
And my wife mentioned, I can go to a meeting over there, and there's a dentist right there next door.
That's right. And a spa.
You can get lunch, watch a movie.
Get your hair done.
Okay, thank you guys very much.
Yeah, we're really thrilled. All right, next, Paul, tell us about where we are with El Dorado Ready.
Thanks, Bob. Just so you get a moment on the new office, this office space, we were looking at another place in the same building. This space is markedly superior. It's got light, it's got easier access, got storage. So I think people will be very pleased. The layout is conducive to our organization. So measure S, it was and is El Dorado Ready, but it has been assigned an official place on the ballot known as measure S, as in Sam, as in smart, as in steady, as in all those things. And a couple things that I'd like to do is to ask individuals and organizations, including the Associated Fire Safety Councils, if you are willing and would like to endorse the measure to go on the Eldorado Ready website, and there's an endorsement section there. I was reviewing it this morning. It is extensive, it extends throughout the community, and if you can talk it up with your folks, be most appreciative. And again, Charlie Downs and I, who's a retired architect, many of you know, if you would like any of us to come to your associate council meetings to describe it and talk of the Measure S, please let us know. We'll do our best to join you. We already did it for Oak Hill, and we'll be doing it for Placerville shortly, so just let us know. And I'm not sure, did we send out the FAQs?
Not yet.
Okay.
You want me to send that out?
So I put together a frequently asked questions specifically for the Fire Safe Council. So if you've got specific questions, hopefully this will answer them. If you have additional questions or you want some greater clarity on some things, just let us know and we can modify it and send it out. But it should be a good tool for you and your communities. As I look at this, the measure itself is imperfect. It is less than ideal, but it is probably the best opportunity for both the fire departments and for fire prevention in our community to be locally generated. And as I say, it's probably our last best chance to be able to accomplish this. Even for its faults, I am fully in support of it. And if you are too, please help us. Any questions on Eldorado Ready Measure S? Hearing none, want to move on to the next item?
Well, let me just make one comment. You know, you mentioned fire, you didn't mention Marshall Hospital, but Marshall Hospital, and I was unaware of this, is a nonprofit. And some of this money does go to Marshall. And if you're, you know, sitting there deciding whether or not you want to vote and you see Marshall Hospital, why are they on this? They are a nonprofit. There's a very good reason why they're on it, but go ahead, Paul.
Well, let me address that. So, the motivator from the beginning from Marshall was because after an earthquake, the legislature puts requirements on hospitals for seismic safety. And I worked in that universe for many years, and they've kicked the can down the road for decades in the requirements for hospitals to be seismic safety for hospitals. And part of it is because the Allview Hospital down in Southern California, another hospital in the VA that were impacted by earthquakes, and it's reasonable. Unfortunately, the legislation doesn't make a distinction between actively seismic areas and places that are not very seismically active. And retrofitting hospitals is incredibly expensive. So that was their motivator. Charlie Downs and I, for quite a while, have been talking about doing something similar, a parcel tax, you know, to support fire prevention. We realized we did not have the bandwidth, we did not have the resources to mount a campaign like that. So when Marshall had started their initiative and recognizing what happened in Paradise, that if you don't protect the communities and be able to support both the response and the prevention, that the hospitals in Paradise were were vulnerable. And so they added that, you know, partially probably to make it more appealing to the community, but it's substantive for both the fire service and for fire prevention. And so we more than willingly jumped onto their bandwagon because it looked like our best opportunity to be successful, knowing that anything in this county is a challenge when you're trying to raise funds. So, anything else you'd like me to address?
No, go ahead. Next item.
Next item, fun stuff. So we had approached the Legion Post to possibly do a veterans breakfast that we had done a couple years ago over the Firefighters Hall in Diamond Springs. But unfortunately, it basically backs up to the COCO training that we're doing, and we didn't have the capabilities of mounting two things at once. So today I booked into for November 13th, 2027. For a veterans breakfast here, similar, and I have, Hornswoggle, our, social secretary, Ms. Karen Pullen to join us. Rebecca, you got anything? Okay, and so put that in your calendar for November 13th, it's a Saturday, 2027, and we will plan on a end of season event, probably here, just to celebrate our successes and talk about things other than fire prevention. Any questions on that? Back to you, Bob.
Yeah, there's a reason why Paul talked to Karen about this, because when it comes to food, Karen is the one, so I guarantee it's gonna be good stuff. Any questions for Paul? Yeah, go ahead, Hugh.
Yeah, Paul, just one thing. You said September 13th,
No, November 13th.
November, excuse me, my bad.
David? You get one more.
Do that. And Paul, I've been running into, we're getting, I know we're getting negative feedback about the tax in the hospital, but people keep talking to me about, but I've seen with some 90, no, almost 100 year olds here at the Legion, and they used to go down the hill for their care, but they had to go to Marshall for their ER. And so people are finding out, no matter what system you're in, you live up here, or even in Cameron Park, you may be the fastest ER is to get into Marshall here. So I think we have to emphasize the ER, which ties right into fire and everything else.
I mean, I personally, I get my care for that small healthcare system you probably never heard of called Kaiser Permanente. But my family has used the Marshall ER, a number of times over our 38 years, in Placerville. So, there are benefits. And again, part of my business, for many years was traveling around the country, doing training for emergencies and hazard materials events. I do a lot of work in rural hospitals, and I've seen what happens when in communities when their hospitals either fail or are taken over by a grand mothership. And generally those are negative outcomes.
Thank you, Paul. Yours truly hit myself in the head with a sledgehammer. It probably explains a lot, but I went on a Marshall emergency and they did a great job. And I am, by the way, a geologist by education. And why they have to do the retrofit is beyond me because they're on pretty solid ground. Okay, I'm up next. Jessica, can you call up that? I had some pictures I wanted to show you. As you know, as I told you last month, I want to go to as many Fire Safe Council events as I can, and I attended a super event. That was put together by the Camino, the Fort Jim, and the Rancho del Sol Fire Safe Councils. And I'm not sure who, I know Dorothy's here from Camino. And Jason will be back. Oh, Courtney and Jason. I know Jason's here. Courtney back now. Oh, yeah, I see her hands. And Gary Bowl, Glenda, and Bruce from Rancho del Sol. It was just an awesome event, and I just wanted to show you a few pictures.
Just scroll through.
Yeah, we can just go through them. I make a few comments. There were maps there educating the public. It was a huge crowd. It was a wonderful venue. The name of the venue was what?
David Taylor.
Yeah. There's just a few pictures there. Eldorado Ready was there. There were a number of exhibitors. There's a nice picture of Tanya in there. Sarah was there. The three Fire Safe Councils had a booth. Every booth was packed with people. This is just so good for us. It is such good PR. And what brings them in is food. By the way, go back to the picture of Tanya there. Notice over there on the table, she was giving out Frisbees.
Wow.
And if you'd be nice to her, maybe she has a few left. They're little Frisbees. They're fun. They work really good.
Good at this.
And the food was fantastic. So thank you very much to those 3 fire safe councils. This is a goal for all of you to try to do something like this. And I know some of you have. I've been to some other events. But this was really a good one and a nice venue that was really packed with people, and I think we deserve to give a nice applause to this group. So that's all I have. Vice Chair report, Dorothy.
Good morning, everyone. Just as an update, our automation on the 3 programs is nearly complete, so that's very exciting, and we will let you know when it is finally complete. That as a reminder back, we will always have the table back in the back, and there's a bunch of really good things back there. That's the free table. If it's back there, take what's back there. One of which is, I put a bunch of little bags with the golf tees. Remember, the golf tees are the checking to see if the vents, if you've got the right size of vents. So they're the freebie gifts that are out there. And what the thought was, make sure anybody who's doing an assessment, if you have the assessor's bag, take a bag of these and put them in there. And when you go out and do your assessment, give them a golf tee, just what they've always wanted. Okay, so those are back there. There's what's also back there, some name tags or some name cards that were a little bit too small for us. If you could use those, take those. There's also, for some of the events that we have, you may want to recognize the people that are floating around. When we did our event on our barbecue event, Jason had purchased us some vests because we saw what Placerville did, and that was great, recognizing who the Fire Safe Council people were. But there were some people that came in. If you want a name tag that at least says volunteer, we've got free ones back there. Just take what you need so that you are able to have the helpers, the volunteers at whatever event it is, are recognized for their event. And also, yes, set up in the morning, we have 2 people. We've got Jason and we've got Ken Rogers that help us set up first thing in the morning. We were sorry to lose Hugh, but he's here in attendance, which is good. He always set up everything.
Yeah.
By the time I got in here, yes. Yeah, he was here at like 6:30 in the morning, making sure everything was all set up. I know. So we're not doing that. We get here about 8 o'clock, but we could always use somebody else. So at the end of the meeting, if you would let me know if you're possibly able to help us on a monthly basis, we can always use somebody else. And also on tear down at the end of the meetings, or just shoot me an email to the vice chair email then. And at this point, that's it. Any questions? Thank you.
I was actually here before Hugh this morning. I saw him walking up. And I opened the door for him and I said, "Hi, I'm your Walmart greeter." So, but Hugh's done so much for us, he deserves to sleep in. Thank you, Dorothy, and thank you to Dorothy's outreach group, which is a growing group, and you're welcome to have more, right, for that group.
Yes, I have a whole report on it.
Okay. Paul.
Nothing to report.
Well, that's sad. Angel.
Thank you, Bob. The first item I wanted to talk about is to remind you that we will be having a brown bag session today, following our meeting at 12:30. And the title is Ideas and Concerns about IBHS's Wildfire Prepared Neighborhoods. Lester and Kit will be our presenters. So please bring your lunch and stick around for that. Brown bags that I have like in the hopper, ready to schedule, a couple of them, the West Slope Foundation, to come speak to us. I've also reached out to the American Red Cross, to ask them to come and share their organization with us. It's called WUI, WUUI, which I haven't quite figured out yet, but it sounds interesting enough that I think you all would like to hear more about it. And I want to have all of your ideas and suggestions. So if you know of an organization that you want to learn more about, or just that you've seen them speak somewhere and you think the information they delivered was worthwhile, please let me know the name of the organization and possibly a contact information. I would appreciate it. We will have a brown bag after every meeting unless, it just can't happen, so please plan for them. If there's anything of interest that you would like me to report on as the secretary of the El Dorado County Fire Safe Council, please also let me know, because I do a lot of different things and I don't know what you all want to hear about or know about. As Bob suggested or stated earlier, we do have an executive board meeting each month and you are all welcome. If you could give me a heads up, we are moving, so there may be a change in location coming up soon. So give me a heads up you're coming so I can give you the address again. And it is the first Wednesday of every month at 9 o'clock. Insurance. On September 29th, the El Dorado County Fire Safe Council insurance renews. And this year we received a non-renewal on a portion of our insurance. So the e-board discussed it and we said, maybe we ought to look around, see what's out there. And again, I was referred to someone and I spoke to Jim, very nice man. He's an insurance agent. And I described the situation to him about the non-renewal and who we were with. And he just said, Angel, honestly, I can do this for you, but my boss really doesn't support me. What's the right word? Taking over for another agent when you're already with a great company. And I was like, wow, that is so nice to hear that we are actually with a good insurance company. And he encouraged me to go back to the agent to make sure we would be covered. And so I did. And we are going to be covered by September 29th. So everything worked out. But I think that little bit of shopping reassured me that we are with an excellent nonprofit insurance provider. And I've always been a little hesitant about it, but I feel great about it now. So I wanted to share that with you so that you have confidence in the insurance that we currently have and will continue to have. Now, I don't know if it's going up. That'll be the surprise email that they send. But it goes up a little bit every year, about $1,000 a year. So I expect that to happen. And I hope I explained that well. If you have any questions, please let me know. Okay, that's the end of my report.
Thank you, Angel. I'm gonna be a broken record. I would not have taken this job had it not been for how hard the group at this table, including Carrie and Jessica, work. Just so much appreciated to keep this Fire Safe Council active. Treasurer's report, Bill.
2 items. First item, many of you received an email from me for the annual year-end reports. So if you received an email from me thanking you, that means I've received it, acknowledging it. Some of you received, there are 6 councils that I didn't see. I sent a blast email out with instructions and I got 2 responses back already. One is check your email box. Okay, I'll do that. Thanks, Tamara. And then also transition. I'm a new treasurer and some councils have new treasurers as well. And the reason why we're doing this is out of our 30+ sub-councils, 23 of them use El Dorado County Fire Safe Council's EIN or tax ID. And we need to track all transactions. So that's your beginning of the year balance, your July 2025, it's fiscal 26, but calendar July through June 26, that's the fiscal year. And so those 2 statements, and if you have trouble getting this, I can get that for you. And then the transactions, so that's your P&L. Together we'll pull it all through. And the reason why I'm adamant about this is because as a sub-council with a bank account, you're using our tax ID and just need to wrap it up. So that's number 1. And number 2, I've had some conversations, one in person with Mark, is for reimbursements. So I'm going through, if you receive an email from me thanking you for the reimbursement and I'm reviewing it, I am reviewing it. If you didn't receive that and there's a reimbursement hanging out there somewhere, send it to me again, put the name of your council in the search, sorry, other way around, put it in the subject line. if you're using your own email address, I don't know, your Yahoo or Gmail address, I don't know who you are. So council, your council, what it is, either reimbursement or P&L year-end stuff. And then I'll sort through it. And the way I operate is doing one thing at a time. I can't multitask, but I unitask really well. So the unitasking is, for me, is wrapping up our previous fiscal year, FY 26, with the P&L, the P&Ls from sub-councils. And then making sure I'm on top of the reimbursements. And talking to Mark is getting those in, making sure the process quickly. If you have a bank account, we're working on doing a straight through processing where we'll just do a transfer directly into your bank account. There's no check writing, check mailing. There's years ago you'd have 100% confidence the post office is going to get your mail to where it's going. And then I think everyone in the room or online has had an experience with some post office issue. We're going to try to eliminate that. So again, my focus, immediate focus is wrapping up FY 26 and getting reimbursements, and then payments, which is not really a concern, but some people do have concerns. That's going to wrap up this week as well. So that's where I am. Any questions for me? I'm also happy to take questions after the meeting. I'll be around.
Here he comes.
Every month, once you're on top of it, if you can send to me balance sheet, income statement, and cash flow statement, I'd appreciate it. How's the June 30th coming? I haven't seen it yet.
I'm working with our accountant to close things down. So here's the thing is we got a new treasurer, me, a new accountant, it's Jill.
Yes.
And a new accounting system. So 3 things changed at the end. No, sorry, at the beginning of this fiscal year for FY 27. We changed 3 big things all at one time. I wouldn't have done that. I would have staggered it, maybe a couple months, say, new treasurer, 2 months later, new accounting system. New accountant. Not all, so all at one time, no, I don't have that right now. So part of it is closing everything down systematically. Again, I can't. Our previous treasurer, she had everything in her brain. She touched everything from beginning to end. She was on top of it and knew everything. It was kept up in her brain. For me, I'm more systems based. I can't hold everything up there. So I need to do it systematically and tackle things one by one. The point taken, when those are available, you're my finance committee of one. I'm going to share the balance sheet, income statement, and statement of cash flows. Those are the core things that any organization should be able to produce.
Thank you, Bill.
And David is really on the finance committee. Thank you, David.
He is the finance committee.
Is Karen still participating?
She wants to.
Yeah, Karen?
Yeah.
Karen Coleman, yeah.
Yeah, hopefully is in the.
Yeah.
Okay, when I, and thank you, Bill. When I used to, sit on your side in the room, I always came here because I wanted to hear the partner reports, and that's up next. Anybody here from BLM? Anybody online from BLM? We're in fire season, Cal Fire. Hello, Cal Fire. Didn't think they'd be here. Tanya, where's Tanya today? Is she online?
Okay.
Okay. No Tanya's, maybe a quick meeting. Fire Chiefs Association. No, but. El Dorado National Forest.
Yeah, that's.
Okay.
Yeah, we do have someone, but I don't think he's.
Fire prevention, El Dorado County,
He's
FPL.
here, but he's not responding.
Yep, there you are.
Hi, I don't much, this is my first meeting.
Microphone.
Appreciate the reminder. Morning, everybody. My name is Casey Ransell with the El Dorado County Fire Prevention Officers. I don't have anything prepared for this meeting. This is my first time being able to kind of break away from our daily duties to join, but my goal is to be more involved with you guys and provide what we can on our end. So look forward to seeing you ready.
Thank you, Casey, for being here. We'll look forward to seeing you next month.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Casey?
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 Yes.
Would you do me a favor? I'm not exactly sure what the fire prevention office or officers do. Could you give us like a brief description so everyone, thank you.
Yeah, certainly. So us as the FPOs, we all serve a specific fire agency, so whether that's a district or department. All of us as fire prevention officers, we perform a slew of duties, which is inclusive of typically fire investigations. We also assist with public education. We also assist with annual inspections, so places such as schools and apartments that are mandated to be inspected. We also do defensible space inspections, we help with home assessments, we work on fire safety plans, things of that nature. We also do new construction inspections as well as reviews. So we'll look at new commercial properties or residential properties and see if they conform with the California Fire Code and other Title 14s and other codes we look at. So that's kind of an inclusive umbrella.
Oh, no, sure. It gives me an idea.
It's a lot of fun. Stay busy. So
Thank you.
you're very welcome.
Thank you, Casey. We're
Yeah.
thrilled to have you here.
Thank you.
Okay, Courtney, RCD. Wearing her other hat.
Wearing the other hat. Good morning, everyone. Courtney Jackson with the Georgetown Divide and the El Dorado RCDs. I have some updates on some projects that we're working on. First of all, the Caldor in the community center, we're collecting right of entries as we have been. The county sent out a letter giving a deadline for the landowners to come into this project. So we are collecting them up until September 30th. And I've gotten a slew of phone calls and emails from landowners confirming that they've already returned their right of entry agreement and also new signups, which is very good news. So we hope to get that project started very soon, maybe by the end of this month. We're working on the procurement process for contracting right now, so we're finishing that up as well. The other project in the Caldor project is finished up along Highway 50 and the cabin tracks. That was Sales Canyon, Bryant Creek, 46 Milestone, and Aspen Creek. So those were hazardous trees that we removed along there and then removed the debris and logs associated. Mosquito, the EFRT for the restoration project and removal of debris. We are complete for the season due to fire danger, and we expect to then ramp up again in the fall when the cooler months start. And Auburn Lake Trails Northern Shaded Fuel Break is ongoing a little slower because of the fire danger right now. It's continuing as they can safely. So we will be able to ramp up later as conditions improve. We are also working with CAL FIRE on the South Placerville fuel break. So that's south of Placerville in a very large fuel break from the west to east, south along this city of Placerville up into Camino. And we are flagging, doing archaeological surveys and hope to be able to start on that, but coordinating with CAL FIRE on that. We're also in conjunction working on the PG&E Utility Corridor project, which is a fuel reduction expansion along the utility corridor from Camino at the powerhouse all the way down to Diamond Springs. And it includes shaded fuel breaks in strategic locations along that utility corridor. We are collecting right of entry agreements, and in one of the units we are flagging and also doing that's the south side of 50 along the 49 expanded from the west side of that project boundary a little bit to the east of that project boundary. So that's a unit that we're flagging and doing those surveys. And hope to have something concrete to go out to bid for a contractor very soon. And then we are also working on the Texas Hill PG shaded fuel break that Hugh could probably speak on a lot better than me because he was instrumental in getting that grant. But we are working in the Weber Creek drainage, and right now we're collecting right of entries. That Hugh is helping us work on that, and we should be able to start flagging very soon as well. So that is an update. Does anybody have any questions? Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you, Courtney.
Forester. Forester.
Oh, I called him, Forest Service?
Yeah, I also messaged him. He's not responding.
Okay.
Russell
He is on,
Jacoby.
Jacoby's online.
Mhm.
Yeah, we'll see, we'll try, yes. The SWAT, Eric Brown. Okay, how about Mike Webb, PG&E? I know EDSO is here.
Morning, Ryan Bennett, OES, on behalf of EDSO. Fire season's well underway. We had 2 small fires last week, one requiring evacuations in the Fairplay area. The second one was in the Caldor Burns Scar. California is having a relatively quiet fire season as is, so there's plenty of resources available. And then due to the work, all the fire city councils such as yourselves, we're able to dump resources, work together to keep these fires smaller. So thank you for all the work you guys have done in your neighborhoods. Other than that, we're staying ready in the office, and if anything.
Yep, question from Angel.
Hi, Ryan. Thank you for coming today. The fire in the Caldor Burns Scar, was that in the El Dorado National Forest?
It was.
And that was pretty quickly taken care of because there's not a lot there to burn, right?
Yeah, they were actually doing contract work up there. It was on the SPI. Full kind of department to start, why it started. Crews were already on scene. And stopped the teenagers.
Yeah, it was great. I watched it on the camera. I was glad to see it was out.
Look more impressive than what it was.
There was a lot of flames. It was very impressive. Thank you.
Lester.
Yeah, it was pretty unclear as to who was responsible for the road itself and the road, MET being open. And I know there was a lot of confusion around that. Anyway, and I don't know if it was the Forest Service or Sheriff's Office.
So that's a good question. So the initial response, we had deputies from the Illinois Sheriff's Department shut the roads down, then transitioned to CHP. Ultimately, it is a Forest Service road, so the vets took over
Well, the request would be anyways, yeah, that somebody put some signs out because there was no way to know when it was open.
Gotcha. Yeah, so when I was there, there was some signage that was out. It did take a little bit to get out there. But again, it was from start to finish, it was a 3-hour ordeal. It was pretty quick.
Actually, because we got caught in it a day later, and so there was a lot of misinformation going on. And in fact, my daughter called to ask if the road was open, and she was told that it's a soft closure, and this was 2 days later. So again, it probably fell with the Forest Service.
I don't want to put it on them because I don't do that to them, but
I have a question, just for everybody's benefit here, evac orders and wardings, are those exclusively the, for lack of a better word, the horse's mouth, OES?
Yes, so our office does do the evacuation orders. That's actually my primary responsibility as I work in conjunction with law enforcement. We use our perimeter, which is a mapping system, which is an essential rave, which is how it's all on orders.
So if a incident commander can call for evacuations, or does he request that from Oh, yes.
So again, when I show up, I work directly with the IC of the incident. I ask them, I gather intel, based on my experience in fire service. I work with them and I say, hey, sounds like the fire's going right here. I draw a preliminary map, I share it with them, and then I send it to the office. So we work hand in hand together.
Whether it's
Okay.
in the forest or.
Yeah, whether it's in the forest or not.
So if it's in the forest, again, it's all about who has jurisdiction. That's my primary job. I do work with the IC and we'll go for it. If there are evacuations reported in the forest, yes. All the incidents go through, or all the evacuations will be going through the IC. And then they come out via the sheriff's department. So yes.
Okay, thank you, Ryan. Any other questions? All right. Your reclamation. She's here almost every time. See her. Okay, vacation season. Thank you, everybody. Grants and funding, Tamara.
Okay, I don't actually have a ton to report, thank goodness, since last month almost killed me. Yeah. We just have a lot of stuff pending right now. We have 6 CAL FIRE grants pending that we won't hear about until probably November or December. We started work on our BLM grant, the $1.5 million BLM grant that's working on the BLM 3,300 acres of BLM land on the Georgetown Divide. So we'll be doing NEPA on all 3,300 acres and then actual treatment on quite a bit less because we only have 1.5 million. But we're looking at pretty aggressive timeline on that project. We should have NEPA done on the first section by November and then putting it out to bid starting in January and starting work in February. So I'm excited about that. There's a ton for the fire safe councils up in that area. There's so much BLM land in, well, 3,300 acres that is overgrown and hazardous. So it's good to be able to get some money to start on that. We are still waiting on the California Fire Safe Council grant. As a reminder, we applied for roughly $120,000 for outreach and education. 15 associate fire safe councils participated in that grant. The grant is supposed to start October 1st, so I'm hoping we're going to hear about that soon. But as we know from our current grant, the California Fire Safe Council is not super reliable on their timeline, so I'm not sure exactly when we're going to hear on that. Yeah, and that's actually all I have right now. Anybody has any questions?
Thank you, Tamara. Jessica.
Hello, everyone. I am going to pull up my numbers here. We are doing well with our hazardous tree program. I wanted to make an announcement today that as of this morning, we have temporarily closed the application portal as we reach funding capacity. And until we find out whether or not we've been approved for an additional grant, we will not be processing additional applications. There are quite a few that are pending in the queue, and they will all be notified individually of what's going on. So if you have any other questions about that, you can get with me after the meeting. But we are rocking and rolling when it comes to our programs. Just to give you a little insight, last month we spent over $127,000 in defensible space work, which is really lovely to hear and know that our contractors are out there getting caught up during this summer season, which means we have cleared 286 parcels this year, averaging $1,288.54. Out of those 286, 63 of them were veterans, 262 were seniors, 88 were low income, and 88 were disabled. And just so everyone knows, those numbers are not added up some of them are multiple things. And under our chipping program, we have completed 584 jobs this year. We've spent $218,936.93. And then for our hazardous tree, we're finally, getting stuff done. And so I know our program was paused for 2 months, but we're doing really good. I'm excited that it's open and we're finally cutting down trees. These numbers include the work that was closed out in March, on top of what we've done this last month. So we have completed 49 parcels total this year, identified 241 trees, cut 152. The average cost per tree is $1,007.27. We are getting a lot of requests in Pollock Pines, and as you know, Pollock Pines has massive trees. So the average cost has gone up. And the average job cost, which does include the initial evaluation, is $3,189.68. We also launched our request for proposal for some defensible space evaluators and hazardous tree arborists. We have not received a lot of proposals, but thankfully Michael Connolly and Lori James has volunteered to be a part of our evaluation panel, which we're holding next Wednesday at 9:30 a.m. at our office. And Dorothy will be our executive board member, who is a part of that panel as well. It probably won't take very long, but hopefully, hopefully it goes fast. That's what everybody wants. But yeah, we'll let you know what the evaluation panel votes on, and then we'll announce it at the next meeting who we decided to go with. Does anybody have any questions? David.
You said the portals have been closed for the applications. Is that for everything?
It's just for hazardous trees. Sorry if I didn't specify that.
Just hazardous tree.
Just hazardous tree. Yeah, the money goes really fast with that program. So we opened it and now we're closing it. Defensible space and chipping are well funded for at least the next 1 to 2 years. Thank you.
Thank you, Jessica. This is really what we're all about, and we like to say Tamara finds the money and Jessica spends it.
Oh, yeah.
But remind your council, always remind them that these services are available. Training committee, Elizabeth.
Yes, hi. So the assessment program meetings have been quiet this summer, but today, actually, so everybody's been waiting for months, if not years, for the Board of Foresters to come up with details about Zone 0. Everybody's heard about Zone 0, the first 5 feet around your structure. The entity of Zone 0 exists, but what you can and can't do in Zone 0 has been flapping in the breeze, so to speak, until the Board of Forestry came up with details about what they would allow or not allow. Anyway, they are meeting today. I don't know if as we speak or later this afternoon, but they're meeting today to vote on details of Zone 0. So if they actually decide on something, we will be rolling that out to our assessor group and to everybody in the council so that you know what's coming. The proposal right now is pretty complicated, and there's 3 to 5 years to come into compliance and all this stuff. So there's a lot of runway on this. It's not something that's going to have to happen tomorrow. But for those of us on the training committee, it will engender a lot of work. We'll have to redesign the forms, educate, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, we've been bracing for that. So yeah, so that'll be our fall, getting our arms around that. And other than that, I think folks have been out there doing some assessments even in the heat of summer. And we hope as things cool down and we have more events that, yes, keep promoting this assessment program to your councils. Even if you run into people that aren't in a council, we have assessors that will travel anywhere in El Dorado County, West El Dorado County, separate brief up in Tahoe Basin that does. So Anyway, it's a great resource for folks to get one-on-one education about what they can do to help their property survive wildfire. Any questions?
Thank
I
you.
stumped you all. Very good.
I did one last week.
Very good.
Dorothy, outreach and education.
Outreach and education, just to let people know that we meet on the fourth Wednesday in the office from 12 to 1:30, and people like Shyla in the back there are part of the group that's working. We're expanding. I still have no idea how Alice and Lester did as much as they did, and they always need a big round of thank you very much for getting our public outreach. But we're at a different level now than too as we expand. Trying to make sure that we're reaching out further and having more materials available for checkout. As we get, the next new one of the projects will be, is to have an evacuation bag there for checkout that's got items in it and or a list. Most of us have a list of what people should have, but we actually want to have something if you're having an event that we've got the bag available. And then remember, Q's made this awesome vent check with the keys to go with it that are in the back that are free, to be able to let people know if you're having an event, if it doesn't fit, the T doesn't fit, then your vent's the right size. If the T fits through the vent, it's the wrong size. So they need to change out the venting system with it, get smaller. Also, we. Yes, that's okay. Hello. Yes, with that, hello.
Could you put it on speaker for? me?
Yeah. Welcome to the fire safety.
It's not Domino's Pizza. Okay, Carrie's put out, please send in as a reminder your logo for your fire safe council. We would like to have all the logos here at the county level. So in case we are able to put out something and better support you, such as there is a binder that has been created that we have at events. It shows the local fire safe councils. I'm sorry, I didn't have it here to show you, but actually it's better I didn't because it's almost, it is not at the professional level of what the work is that everybody's doing. So we want to make sure that we get a template out then to showcase each of your fire safe councils with your logos on it and have it in a binder so that like if we are at a fair, for instance, or home and garden shows, or if somebody else wants to borrow the book for their events, it shows all the fire safe councils. When we did the barbecue event during the summer, it was really nice. There's also a big map now available of all the fire safe councils. So sometimes people may attend one of your events and maybe not in your area. Remember, fires have no boundaries. So you can be able to show if they are in fire safe council. So those things are available. Okay, so we need your logo. We will be sending out a template to be able to fill out for our binder, giving information regarding your fire safe councils. We also will be sending out a template. Remember, last year was the first year we did a spotlight report, your end of the year shout out for what you've done. It was wonderful. What people have done, it came in many different forms. So this year we're going to send out a template, see if we can get it a little more standardized with it. But again, we'd like your logo for that. So if you'd send that in.
Darky to do.
Carrie is a thank you. Good question. Carrie's our go-to person for the collection of that information.
Jerry, raise your hand.
Yes. Yeah. We're very thankful for Carrie and Jessica for all that they do because that's it. That's our staff. So, moving forward though too, on September 11th and 12th, we have a new activity that we're doing. Back in the back, it's the Veterans Day Stand Down event. David's in the back shaking his head. We need some volunteers. It's a 2-day event. We will be having our booth, which will be simple with information. And David, even or Ernie, if you'd like to speak to the event a little bit, we do need volunteers. How many people in here are veterans by chance? Yeah. Thank you for all of your service. So it would be really neat if some of our veterans actually can help support our shifts at the event. Okay, so that's back there for sign up at the free table. And then we also have another event coming in, and it's on September 26th, and it's the Props Cops and Rodder event, which is down in Cameron Park. We need volunteers. We're just gonna have, it's a 1 day booth. Both activities go from 9 to 3. Both activities are worth seeing, especially the cops and Rodders, because that's where they have the airplanes out and they have lots of vendors and lots of really cool stuff going on down by the Cameron Park Air Show. But on the 26th, I again need some people to help with setup, staffing during the day, and then for cleanup, close up at the end of the day. So signups, don't all rush at once, but the signups are in the back table. And at this point, that's it for public outreach. Any questions? Good, thank you, Lester.
And I don't know if this might be actually for Tamara, but the Cocoa wildfire mitigation workshop, whether kind of that's still on for that day. And the other was, from our experience, the class was really benefited from having some of the fire service folks as part of it, along with kind of the volunteers and all. So it's suggesting anyways, you know, that expanding kind of the invitation for that workshop.
Yeah, right now it's scheduled for November 9th and 10th, although I'm having trouble getting that confirmed with Cocoa. They're not being responsive right now. So it's tentative. And yes, that's part of the their requirement is that we invite, you know, I think we invite people, we can invite our people first, but then we open it up to a larger group, because I guess it's a certification that a lot of fire personnel need to have, and so that's why they'll take it. And so fire personnel will take it, or I think fire personnel who work in community outreach or something. I'm not sure who that target market is exactly, but they come from all over. So Cocoa was really excited to be doing a workshop in California because they haven't done one here before. So I don't know why they're not being responsive right now. It's weird, but yeah. As of now, it is scheduled for November 9th and 10th. If that changes, I'll let everyone know.
Dorothy.
Go ahead.
Hey, hi, Dorothy. This is Paul. Just wanted to let you know on our Fire Safe Council meeting in July, we said we wanted to participate in the Cops and Rodders event. And there's about 8, maybe 9 people that would probably help volunteer.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Paul. We will not need anybody to sign up by the sounds of it.
Well, just in case they all had their hands up, but whether they show up is another thing. I will send you an email and copy those that said that they were interested in participating.
Perfect. And you know, it also goes to show, and thank you, Paul, for the Greater Cameron Park Fire Safe Council. We're going to collaborate in our own booth there during that event. And that's something kind of new. We haven't done that before. And that's something that we need to be thinking about for all the Fire Safe Council trainings. And that's why we wanted the binder. If somebody asks us about your Fire Safe Council or realize, oh my gosh, I am in a Fire Safe Council boundary area and has no information. If we're, say, at the fair, we can go to the binder and show them, this is information about you. Ultimately, what would be great is if we then had some handouts, but if nothing else, most people, if you have our iPhones, they can take a picture of at least where your contact, how to be able to reach out to your Fire Safe Councils. Again, we're always on the hunt for new volunteers that are able to help us. So, thank you, Paul.
Is this all caffeine?
Yes.
Dorothy's got so much energy.
Damn.
Steve, Mike, microphone.
I thought it was 2 people.
I would just like an explanation of what is Cocoa and what is Cops and Rodders. I've not heard these before, so just an explanation would be appreciated.
Cops and Rodders. It's to the best I know, it's and anybody chime in to be able to help out with this.
Wow.
Okay, here it goes.
It is a fun event. I mean, even if you're not working the booth, you gotta go. It's great for for Paul and his group to be there, because it's right there in Cameron Park, but it's exactly what it says. There are a lot of law enforcement vehicles out there and law enforcement representatives. There's hot rods. Usually the horses, what do they call them, that patrol the state capitol? Beautiful horses are out there, and you can actually pet them. And airplanes, I was in the booth a couple of years ago, and a guy came up to me and said, "Hey, chance you could program a scanner? If you can, I'll give you a ride by airplane." And I did, and he gave me a ride right then and there. I left the booth, jumped in his plane, he buzzed the whole group out there. It's really fun event. I encourage everybody to go. Did that answer the question? What's the dates? September, unfortunately, I'm gonna be in Europe, so I'm gonna miss it this year. September 26th.
Gee, and I always thought that it was only the demolition derby where cops and felons intermingled. That's supposed to be another one.
By the way, it's pretty much sponsored and put together by Placerville CH. Any other questions? Dorothy, I don't want to put you on the spot, but can you name the folks on your outreach committee off the top of your head?
Let's see, Shiley, if I miss somebody, help me. We've got Terry from out on the south area. We've got Shyla and Terry and Janet. And then we're trying to do in sections too, to make sure we've got representation. We've got from the north area, we've got Mark Shumway and Janet Hayes. Yeah, you guys are in the north. From the east, we've got Dorothy. So far, Dorothy. On the west area. Oh, and Bob's on it too, but that's about it. So we also need representation from somebody from the west. Because as we start to look more and more moving, as we're moving forward in changing our whole paradigms of things and how we do business. And we have our areas now, according to like the CWPP, we want to make sure that outreach and education, we're doing more collaboratives. And that's the reason that Courtney Jackson, bless her little heart, from Fort Jim, really got the spearhead together to do 3 fire safe councils to do a collaborative. And that's why we had over 250 people that attended that event. So we're moving in that direction. So be looking at your neighbors, thinking who do you want to start to partner with? And it makes it easier in the big picture, and we get more information because, again, remember, fire has no boundaries. So whether you're in a fire safe council or you're in one of the gray areas, we have some great resources. We need to push that information out. So that's our goal, is the outcome.
Shyla, raise your hand, let everybody know who you are.
Nice and tall, she's standing up.
Anyway, thanks to the outreach committee. And a reminder, the committee meets via Zoom, but we like to be there in person. It's going to be so much more comfortable in the new, and there's going to be room for more. All right.
Coco.
Oh, yeah, we have to answer that. Sorry.
Okay, so to answer what Coco is, I'm looking, they have a lot of gobbledygook on their website, but they are a group that brings together, they're out of Colorado, they bring together conservation, wildfire focused organizations to collaborate. They offer capacity building resources. We've applied to them before for a capacity building grant, but haven't been successful. And they also offer this best practices training, which it's designed for current or aspiring mitigation specialists, wildfire program leads, and others who work with residents to reduce wildfire risk. The course focuses on science-based methods and tools to improve community engagement and on-the-ground mitigation effectiveness. And I know that Lester and Alice have attended the 2-day training and said it was excellent. So for all of us as Fire Safe Council members who work with the public, my hope is that it will help us hear what best practices are, kind of research-based practices for effectively reaching our communities and getting them to take action. That's the hope of this training. It's November 9th and 10th. It'll be here, and it'll be a 2-day, full day training. So it's quite a commitment. I believe that's a Tuesday and Wednesday. So it is quite a commitment, but it's a free training. They do offer it for free, which is, we're lucky to have that. So I hope that we can all, take advantage. It'll be here. Yeah. I hope as many of you can take advantage of it as possible, because I think it will be really worthwhile. Excuse me? Yeah, we'll do pre-registration. As soon as I get all the kind of confirmation from Coco, I'll send it out and for, pre-registration.
Thank you, Tamara. Thank you for asking those questions. Community council reports, don't be shy, find a microphone, tell us what you're doing. Great. It's on, should be on. Yeah.
Oh, well, great. Okay, just real quick. Like to let you know what's been going on in Strawberry over the last 3 months. So back in May 16th, we had our spring community meeting. About 35 people attended, which is about 20% of the community. Pretty good turnout for considering we're so seasonal up there, but and in June, we had a chipping event. We had about 10% participation rate from the community, about 16 homes. During the months of June and July, we also had 5 20-yard dumpsters set up. They come in on a Wednesday and pick up on a Wednesday from South Tahoe. And interestingly enough, all 5 dumpsters were 85% filled by Wednesday evening. They were filled / overfilled by Thursday. All 5 of them. So we're getting, to me, that's a success story. It's good news. People are utilizing it. And that, so with that said, we had a strawberry or a potluck picnic in July. And it's done in collaboration, not really in collaboration with the Fire Safe Council, but it's done we have a raffle and donations, and it's to raise some money. And the community donated, individuals donated $450 to the council, so that was pretty nice. We feel that we're enjoying very good participation and support from all those wonderful folks in Strawberry, in case anybody's watching from home. So I think that's it. I also want to comment that besides the things that we're doing in these little statistics I gave you, what has changed, in my opinion, up there, and it seems to be shared with others, is folks in the community are cleaning up their stuff with or without our assistance. And I think it is because we're there and it's a constant, people talk about it. And one of the things that's kind of healthy is at the picnic, we had some dialogue around, well, we appreciate what we get, but what else can we do as a community? Can we go in on some dumpsters? So what I really am encouraged by that is that's people looking ahead and talking about what they can do. That's what we need. So thank you.
Thank you, Greg and Angel. Or Grizzly. Oops. Oh, go ahead.
Reach to it.
Just quickly, I didn't mention it earlier in the meeting because I didn't want to interrupt the meeting, but over the last month or so, I've been meeting with Courtney and Jason and Dorothy and Bruce about their collaborating, that group. And they offered Texas Hill the opportunity to become part of that group. And I just want to announce at our last board meeting, we voted and Texas Hill voted to become part of that collaboration.
Mark Allmer, Grizzly Flats Fire Safe Council. I've got some past, present, and future stuff to talk about. July 18th was our Firewise Day, and we had 125 attendees, which is the largest we've ever had. Allied agencies, we had the Forest Service, OES, EDSO there. the RCD and CAL FIRE. Next up, we didn't have enough stuff to do, so we decided we're gonna have a Green Waste Day this Saturday. So we're ready and gearing up for that. A couple 30-yard green waste dumpsters will be delivered Friday and picked up Monday. And I think Ernie's going to sleep out there overnight to make sure that no trash gets in there. And then finally, coming up on October 1st, I will be attending CalBO's Education Week, which is California Building Officials Annual Education Week in Burlingame. I'll be attending on October 1st the Title 24 Part 7 Update WUI class in Burlingame. That's it. Any questions?
Whoops, Elizabeth.
You got a question?
Yes.
I heard your voice on NPR yesterday.
Yes, I was on NPR Cap Radio yesterday, and they had a really good 1 hour special on the 5-year anniversary of the Caldor fire. So if you're so inclined and have an hour to spare, I know we all do. Check out Cap Radio's website, and there's not only a written story with a bunch of pictures, but there's also the audio story that you can go back into their archives and listen to.
My former place of business did an hour on the Caldor fire last week. I'm sure it's up on the website, Channel 13.
It was very good.
Oh.
Mark, if you would be so kind as to maybe give a brown bag on what you learned in Burlingame.
Absolutely. I'll get on Angel's schedule.
Thank you, Mark. Sure. Yo.
Jason Jackson for Jim Fire Safety Council. I won't go over our event too much, but it was very successful. And we do have a Green Waste Day coming up. We're putting a dumpster on Fort Jim Road. And it, as far as the collaborative, it has made it so much more interesting and exciting to have the different areas together. Because you don't just think about your little square that you carved out on the map, but we still do our own things as well, like Green Waste Day, and each fire safety council does also. So it's a great way to get bigger events out there, get the information out to more people, because we had visitors from different fire safety councils, different areas other than the fire safety council that we were representing, come in and look at the maps and see what they are involved in or not, or if they want to be, and help them. So that's it.
Thank you, Jason. I want to note, you did not see Courtney in my pictures. And the reason for that was she was out there in the heat directing traffic. Somebody had to do it. She did. Denise.
Denise Stiles from Greenstone Country, Fire Safety Council. We had a very successful Green Waste Days, 14th through today, actually. But it actually ended on the 14th because our bins were filled really fast. El Dorado Disposal puts sandwich boards in front of the bins to tell people what they should and shouldn't do. And they said, if you put any of your home trash in there, you're going to have to deal with Janine Stiles. That really intimidated a lot of these people. We sent out a mailer, and Greenstone put Greenstone Country Fire Safety Council. This is the official mailer things that go out to people in Greenstone. So hopefully they will open it. We put a plethora of information. We all stuffed 350 envelopes on Monday. We have a cover letter talking about many things and lots of things which Jessica will be happy about. We put in the El Dorado shipping program and lots of really good information to people, and hopefully they'll read it. And of course,
Right.
the emergency preparedness book. Then I went to the post office and had to sit there for 2 hours while they hand stamped all of the.
Oh my goodness.
So this is the note to self. If you're gonna do a mailing, they don't have an easy way to to put it through the system, and this is just one of two of these things, so it was really kind of an interesting tip, but I had a really nice time with the people at the post office.
I'm sure Alan was thrilled.
Alan was there and said, don't bother coming back again. Yeah, that's good. So this was a one and done thing, but anyway, a lot of cooperation from Greenstone, they did a lot. They did a lot of copying for us, I mean, tons of copying for us so that we stuff all these envelopes. And I think it will be, I think people will open it up and read it and have a lot of good information. That's it.
That's awesome.
Good stuff, Janine. Yeah.
Sherry Hawk is right.
Sherry Hawk.
Hi, everyone. Hope everyone's doing well. Not much to report. Still working on trying to get our roadside on Goldridge Goldridge Trail cleaned up on the roadside. Running into difficulties regarding flagging, but I'm going to persist on trying to get that done. I did attend. We had a booth at National Night Out up here in Pollock Pines. Heather Campbell was nice enough to come up with her big maps of Firewise for all of our areas up here in Pollock Pines. We kind of worked in tandem. She worked with the adults and I played with the kids, which was really, really great. Did the evacuation grab with the backpack and talked to so many kids that were just really receptive to learning about evacuation and fire, and asked them lots of questions and made them think about things, and then got their parents involved or told them to get their parents involved. And it was just really, really a great event. I was really surprised. The kids' ages were from like 4 to 14, and all of them were just so interactive with me. It was made me very, very happy. So I think I have my calling now. And that's about it for right now. We are trying to possibly put on an insurance event, just trying to get that together as well. But we'll see what happens. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sherry. Sherry's also done some terrific events. I've been to several of hers.
So Hassan from Sierra Springs, we've been continuing our mandatory evaluations, not assessments. And just to report, enforcement, however irritating and distasteful it is, works. So we've been doing reevaluations, and a lot of people, most of the people, once they are notified, they do comply. So that's a good thing. We've been doing a lot of, the HOA has been paying for a lot of either roadside weed abatement and vegetation management. We had the CCC come by and use their track chipper on some of our off-road areas. That was very successful. And just a quick note, if you had mentioned the Frisbees, one of the last events we had, which was, I believe, at Easter, for the whole HOA, the one thing that went really well are those nice little kids' fire hats. And that would probably be a good thing to put the logo on, and every kid, boy or girl, they all loved it. And that's about it. We're still waiting on information about the progress of the PG&E project in our area. I haven't heard anything, so we'll let you know when we find out. Thank you.
Thanks, Hassan. You have a great, your HOA has a terrific meeting place over there too for events. I got one of those fire hats, and my nephew, my 2-year-old, not nephew, grandchild, wears it. I forget whose event I got that hat at.
Unfortunately, our lodge is not up to modern fire safe standards, so our insurance bill is going through the roof.
And
Ken McKinstry, Gallagher Road, Fire Safe Council. We had Monday, a little bit of an ad hoc, project. Our second main escape route in case of evacuation. You could drive through and scratch the top of your pickup with, tree branches. And so we had a little ad hoc group get together Monday, about 10% of the community showed up. And, we did about 1.5 miles or 2 of road, and now run a big trailer and RVs down it. And so good turnout there, but a great result. We also did a project, and many thanks to Tanya. We got red bags, the go bags that she's got, and we also got copies of the Emergency Preparedness Handbook. And in addition to that, we prepared a community-specific handout to go with it, which had, like for instance, information for insurance or Firewise, Fire Safe, the risk reduction certificates and information about, where the fire distances to the fire departments, etc. Also, what the evacuation routes are, we noted what they are. How to know there's an emergency, for included Sarah info in it. Where our main water tanks are, because a lot of the fire trucks show up and they're saying, where's water? We also noted where, the various community members have water tanks available and set up for the fire department. About a fourth of the community actually is pretty well set up there for them. And so we had that as a document to go in as well. And we delivered them to every household in the community. And we also made sure those that aren't local got email letting them the information, etc., and how to get it. So that was a little bit of a project with a great reception, but
Excellent.
that's it.
Good stuff. Ken's got a small but very active fire safe council in a very remote part of the county. Karen.
Karen from Mosquito Fire Safe Council. First I want to, before I get into what we've done, I want to, acknowledge Carrie and Jessica. I call on Carrie all the time, and she never hesitates to assist me and help me. And I can't tell you how much we appreciate that. And Jessica recently brought a concern to my attention about a chipping issue up in Mosquito. And had she not done that, I don't know what we wouldn't have known about it, and it would have continued to be an issue maybe. So thank you for that. And also I was at the neighbor's house when Daniel from the hazardous tree removal came out to do an assessment. What a very nice gentleman he was.
Yes.
So I appreciate everything that you all are doing. I know I always acknowledge the whole board, but that includes both of you as well. So thank you. As far as Mosquito Fire Safe Council goes, we recently did National Night Out, like a lot of other places did. We partnered with our firefighters who really wanted to do that. They haven't done one since the last time we did it with them, which was years ago. And we had so much fun, including we put up our outdoor movie theater and we let the firefighters pick the movie that they wanted. So I personally thought it was going to be something dramatic like The Lost Bus or On Fire or Only the Brave, but no, they picked Disney Pixar Planes, Fire and Rescue.
Oh my gosh, cute.
It was a great movie. We have watched it a few times since then, and the kids just have a blast. And so we do own, I personally do own 2 outdoor movie theaters, so if anybody needs to borrow them, they're available for you to borrow and watch Fire, Planes, Fire and Rescue. It's a great movie. Also, we try to always attend other fire safe council events, and we did also the Fort Jim Camino. Rancho del Sol, and that was also a lot of fun, just very well organized, very well done. And I kept trying to get a minute to speak to Dorothy and never did. I mean, we got to wait once in a while, but it was very well done and so I appreciate that. And I've always been such a big supporter of supporting our other fire safe councils and working together, and with Mosquito and their possible, hopefully, shared service agreement with Garden Valley and Georgetown. Hopefully that goes through at our fire service. I hope to be working more with their fire safe council as well, so I appreciate that. And the Cox and Rotter, years ago, when Pat Wire and Steve Willis were part of the executive board, we had a booth out there that I worked at, and that I would encourage people to go to that. It was a lot of fun. And we're also helping support our firefighters. Johnny, of course, designed the new shirt, the old bridge, the new bridge. For Mosquito. And the proceeds from that go to help our fire department. So anyway, that's about it. We thank Johnny all the time for making us elevate our events and everything that we do. So thank you. And your event was great. Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much, Karen, and thanks for acknowledging Jessica and Carrie. Do we have anybody else? Yeah, David. I think you used up all your time with the light.
I took your turn, well.
Yeah, there
Steve Allen, our vice chair, just with you. I want to join that collaborative too with Fort Jim and everyone. So, this everyone's on notice there. I went to their event, it was fabulous, and I was inspired to invite the American Red Cross to our pizza party over at the Forest Service. We had a good meeting down there. Volunteer right here, I'll volunteer. And we got some new members from that. They put on a nice half-hour orientation for us to be what the Red Cross does, and so that was good. We also had a presentation on the area around Escanton, Lumsden Park. It's a big fire hazard area, access area. We had an engineer and surveyor who basically said it's not going to be effective to build roads, so we're going to have to do more vegetation mitigation. RCD, I think, has already put out some stakes in different places they're going to be working on out at Escanton. There's a large property lives in the States. It's like 128 acres of bare land that's just overgrown. And hopefully we can get something on there. So some good things came out of that meeting. Well, Steve, if I missed anything else, I'm sorry. Anyway, the pizza was good.
Thank you, David. Anyone else? Oh,
Diamond Spring?
Oh, Denise.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
I gotta say, Denise took the day off to attend our meeting. Denise from Diamond Springs.
Embarrassing. So I don't have a lot to say because I haven't been able to come to many of these meetings, and Paul handles that for our council. However, since everybody's talking about great things that they've done this year, we ran a evacuation drill in conjunction with Colorado County first responders. That's fire departments, law enforcement, OES, everybody involved. We did it for the approximately 450 homes that are on Fowler Lane with limited egress and ingress, if we're honest about that. And we had really pretty good turnout. It took about 2 months of planning, back and forth meetings with all of the first responders. It was absolutely phenomenal to see them turn out, see the sheriff's department going around and alerting people, seeing the fire departments, Forest Service, everybody going back and forth to give the neighborhood the feeling that something was actually going on. It is a process to get on their list of being able to do an evacuation drill. They do 1 a year, sometimes 2 a year, depending on how busy the fire season is. And I really recommend that y'all try and do something like that because it's an eye opener for fire safe councils. It's an eye opener for the first responders, and it is absolutely an eye opener for the residents. We had people show up with their trailers, their fifth wheels, their camping gear. We were not planning on doing any other functions this year, so we also gave out a lot of vouchers for green waste. To be able to fill up your pickup, share it with your neighbor, take it in and haul it off. And I think overall we had a great response. So that was our big thing for the year.
We did National Night Out too.
What was that, Paul?
We did National Night Out too.
Yes, oh yes, we did do National Night Out and sweat to death at it. That day.
Thanks for coming today, Denise. You know, I was so impressed with that evacuation drill, and I had asked Paul, I didn't know who Denise was, and I said, who's that woman that's running around, just kind of running the whole show? And he said, that's Denise. Well, thanks for coming, we're glad you're here. Dorothy has something to say.
Yes, for National Night Out, Camino Fort Jim, Rancho del Sol, were there in collaboration also with RCD and Sarah as we grouped together. But there was a takeaway from that and from the barbecue. When you have kids, an activity that was super cheap, easy to do, was we did bubbles, where you did the big long kind of bubbles. We made the front page, if you see the Mountain Democrat, and they were talking about, that was for Camino up there with you saw the half leg of our fire safe council person, but the bubbles are a big attraction for kids coming in and who follows their children, the adults. So then we had audiences, well, the kids were playing with bubbles and again, it was super cheap, super easy. Cleanups are released. It's a clean cleanup.
Thank you. Do we have anybody else?
Elizabeth. I know.
I know. Yes, Karen. You had your chance.
But Dorothy reminded me of something. Another really quick cleanup, easy with the kids, is those, they now have the reusable water balloons. They're wonderful. You don't have to pick up all that crap. Yeah, they're reusable ones, and the kids have a blast with them, so.
Okay, Elizabeth. Sandridge.
Yes, Jessica just reminded me. So Sandridge applied for the California Fire Safe Council Education Outreach Grant that finally came through. And anyway, we've been moving slowly towards getting stuff done. So Sandridge is really strung out. It's 12 miles end to end. It takes me 45 minutes to drive around the other side of my area. So it's hard to get all of us together. We don't have great meeting place. So our tactic for right now is we want to get information out to folks as to how they can still safe. So Pioneer Fire has a little, it's not an active station, but it's like a depot there. They allowed us to put a sign, as long as we didn't cover up their fire danger sign that the other agency does there. Anyway, so we to make a long story short, we found somebody to manufacture a metal frame sign, and we've got these rotating community service announcement sort of signages that we will put about once a month. We'll change these out to a different thing, and so everybody that lives on Sandridge, this is the Bucks Bar Inn, has to go by this sign, so they're going to see it whether they want to or not.
Yeah.
At 49 Inn, we have a smaller sign that people have to kind of pull over and look at, but anyway, that's what we're doing.
Would you share, to fix those, would you share who you bought it from and if you would willingly rotate your sign with other councils?
So we got, so the outfit that made our sign is called they're called, Raw X or something. They do kind of custom manufacture in Diamond Springs. If anybody wants a double sign, I can give you their contact information. Young guys that I know that can weld and stuff together. Really easy to work with. And the signs, they're designed to fit our board, so our thing is 3x5. I can give you the, I'm happy to share the digital graphics, and you can print your own. One of our, Denise Drummond has been really good at putting together. We're basically borrowing stuff from CAL FIRE. We're not creating this de novo. We're going to CAL FIRE and OWOPR and getting kind of vetted graphics and things. Sometimes we have to simplify wording to make it work, but anyway, she's putting together, so we're happy to share the digital files.
Thank you.
Can I ask you, did the county make you get a permit for that sign?
No.
Or have you heard from them?
We didn't ask, we didn't.
Yeah.
We just asked Pioneer Fire and they're like, sure, put it wherever. We're like, you don't want to review this? They're like, yeah, just don't go to their sign. And
Okay.
so we asked them multiple times and they're like, sure. And
Because
then
the county came,
we put up.
we have a sign at, a different, a sign at a business that's on the corner of 193 and Main Street, Georgetown, and the county tried to come back and make us get it. They said we couldn't have it and we had to get a permit. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, depending on the size.
And it's this tiny little sign. So I'm just curious. I would be curious to know if somebody complains and you have to get a permit.
I'll let you know if
yeah,
that
let me
does
know.
happen. It is, so this.
I'm gonna turn you in.
Thank you. Good luck ripping that out of the ground. It's a lot of time.
Yeah.
That fire depot actually shares a driveway with a county like yard. Like the county has a yard adjacent to that, like where they store their gravel and whatnot. So they haven't said anything. Generally out in the boonies where we are, they're like, they don't have the bandwidth to deal with us. They're just like, just don't burn the place down, people, and do whatever else you want. It's kind of, but, you know, they may change their mind. We'll see.
Mark has a question.
Yes.
Yeah, actually to add to that. For answering Tamara, I know Occam Fairplay went through the ringer with county planning. They wanted to put up a sign on Mount Occam Road, probably halfway into their sphere. And then there's one at Four Corners right next to our Smoky sign. When we did our Smoky sign, I dealt with Don Spear. For any of you who have been around long enough to know Don Spear with DOT, he just said, do it. I'll help you put the placement so it's not in the visibility of blocking visibility for traffic. And it was done. But this was back in 2007, I think. Well, things have since changed. For government purposes, anybody that's been in government long enough, it's better to ask forgiveness than it is permission sometimes. I was a government worker for 25 years and that's the way it worked. So that's kind of the story behind what Occam Fairplay went through.
I mean, basically, we did that. We just put up the sign. They tried to come back and make us get a permit and we've just been ignoring them. So, and I think they gave up, because really it's a public service sign, so what, so yeah, but I just was more curious.
No one from the county here right now, so I completely agree. And for those of you from the county listening in, blah, blah, blah.
Thanks, Jason.
What it's worth, we also put up permanent signs on either end of Fort Jim. And I had met with DOT and we were going through rules, setbacks, and at a certain point, I was just so confused by all of the weights that they figured south from center line. I just put them up this past, and they haven't said anything. They've been all up and down Fort Jim because they're rounding them out. So currently, get it out of the plant site,
Yeah.
onto the road. You guess it's too much.
I'll note that Ann Baker, one of our board members, Coloma Lotus, actually, she said she had a great experience with DOT and she wanted to put up a couple Firewise signs and they actually came out and told her where to put them on their existing posts. So that worked out. Want to know more about that? Ann said she'll talk to anybody that wants to know who to contact. Okay, yeah, Elizabeth.
One last thought on the signage. It may depend on, so Sand Ridge Road is a county maintained road, but they only have an easement. So in terms of maintenance, they will only take care of the pavement and like maybe the ditches right next to it, and they won't touch anything else. Versus a right of way where there's the pavement, the ditches, and it may be extra room outside that right of way. So it may behoove whoever, if you're thinking about doing this, understanding whether the county owns an easement, meaning just barely the pavement, or if they have a larger right of way, and that may influence more what they can and can't do. Just something we're dealing with out there on Sand Ridge, that they can't do so much because they only basically own the pavement.
Okay, I'm gonna slap myself around because I like to keep my meetings on time and we're actually a minute over, but I do want to allow any public comments, so who we got out here? Eileen?
Hello, I'm with the American Red Cross. I was out here last month, introduced you to the Red Cross. We've been pretty busy. We got a lot of volunteers up to the northwest, with the fires going up in the other states and also Hawaii hurricanes. But education doesn't stop. We continue to educate, and what we currently have going on is a home fire preparedness campaign to where we will come out and do a fire assessment around your property to educate you and your members. And then we'll go into the home and we will test your fire alarms. Are they working? How often do you test them? If they aren't working or if they're expired, we will come out and replace them for free. They're the standard enclosed 10U fire alarms. We don't do hardwire. Okay, I'm just, okay, but we can install beside them. Okay, but most people don't want to do that. If you'd like to have any of these services available to you, my manager's name is Tracy Wallace. And she can be reached at tracy.wallace@redcross.org. Or you can phone her at 916-709-3416. Any questions? Yes. Tracy, RedCross.org. And Tracy, RACIE.
Karen, we can't hear you. Sorry. It's okay. Thank you.
We were processors in the past and they gave us, fire or smoke detectors to install, and we did it with our firefighters. And then we returned the ones that were used. Is that still how they do it, or do you all come to come out?
Now,
Okay.
test them,
Mhm.
and we will inspect them on their age. They're close to 10 years, or about.
Okay, so you guys prefer to do it that way?
Yeah, we're the old ones, not 45.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Sorry, Eileen. That's EILEEN. Last name's PARR. Thank you.
Thank you, Eileen. Anybody else? Or, oops, yeah.
Lori James, Cool Pilot Hill. I am here though to just give Jessica some kudos. When we moved into our very remote neighborhood, I think most people that lived there moved there because they wanted to be away from everybody. And I'm sure there are a lot of those around, right?
Yeah.
Everybody tended to keep to themselves, and we've been there for 10 years now. And it wasn't until I got involved in the Fire Safe Council that I learned about the programs that you organize. It took that long, so I can't imagine that ours is the only neighborhood filled with people that don't know about these resources. So word is getting out, and we've had a couple people that have taken advantage of it. One in particular was just this last week, and the work they did was phenomenal. What they can do in one day is mind blowing. So all of your work is going to good use. I know you know that, but you just have to say it out loud.
No, thank you. Yeah.
Thanks for bringing that up. You know, this group here knows that when I took over as chair, the thing I want to do, I've been so vocal about saying I want to attend all your Fire Safe Council meetings if you'll have me, but my mission is to get the word out to as many in the county as possible that Fire Safe Council exists, and this is what we can do for you. So thank you, Lori. Okay, anybody else? I do want to note that we have a brown bag session. What's this?
Yeah, we have our brown bag. Lester and Kit are here to do a presentation. And if we're gonna adjourn the meeting in a few minutes, I say let's start the brown bag at.
11:37.
So how about 12:07? We can start the brown bag. Does that work for everyone? That way you get a break, get something to eat. We're gonna adjourn.
David, you used up your time. Okay, we are 7 minutes late. We are gonna adjourn. Thank you, everybody, for attending.
Good job.